2024 meeting of the Bay City Commission will come to order. The clerk will give the invocation, which will be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise. Thank you. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Dockett.
I am here.
Rivet. Bernie.
Yes.
Brunner.
Here.
Hilliker.
Here.
Gerard. Niedzvetski.
Yes.
Clements.
Here.
Morris.
Here.
Mayor.
Thank you. I have heard from the mayor, Commissioner Rivet, and Commissioner Gerard. Is there a motion to excuse all three or any three? Commissioner Brunner?
Motion to excuse Commissioner Rivet, Commissioner Gerard, and Mayor Newsham.
Thank you. Is there a second? Commissioner Niedzvetski?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any objection?
Yes, for Christopher Gerard.
Okay. We need a roll call, so would the clerk? Need a roll call. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Question before, can you clarify what the yes and the no?
A yes means you agree with the motion, and a no means you do not. Yes, the motion to excuse. So a yes means you agree to excuse all three.
Thank you.
All right.
Commissioner Dockett.
Yes.
Bernie.
No.
Brunner.
Yes.
Hilliker.
Yes.
Niedzvetski.
Yes.
Clements.
Yes.
Morris.
Yes.
6 yes, 1 no.
Commissioners Rivet, Gerard, and the mayor are excused, and we have a quorum. Next order of business is adoption of the consent agenda. I'm sorry, adoption of the agenda. Do any members of the commission wish to add any item to the agenda? Commissioner Bernie? Okay. Do you want to read it now, or do you want to read it when you... Okay.
When we have our remarks and
Commissioner Bernie's resolution has been added. Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll on the adoption of the agenda?
Commissioner Dockett.
Yes.
Bernie.
yes.
Brunner.
Yes.
Hilliker.
Yes.
Niedzvetski.
Yes.
Clements.
Yes.
Morris.
Yes.
7 yes.
Thank you. Next order of business is the consent agenda. Do any members of the commission wish to make a change to the consent agenda? Seeing none, the next order of business calls for public input on the consent agenda. This is the opportunity for citizens to remove an item from consent for consideration on the regular agenda. If anyone in the audience wishes to make a change, please come to the microphone, sign the registration sheet, state your name and address for the record, and the item that you wish to have considered on the regular agenda. Okay, seeing none, is there a motion on the consent agenda? Commissioner Brunner?
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you. Is there a second? Commissioner Morris?
Second.
Thank you. Will the clerk please call the roll on the adoption of the consent agenda?
Commissioner Bernie.
Yes.
Brunner.
Yes.
Hilliker.
Yes.
Gerard. Oh, sorry. Niedzvetski.
Yes.
Clements.
Yes.
Morris.
Yes.
Dockett.
Yes.
7 yes.
Next order of business is I skipped something. Remarks of the mayor and commission. Do any members of the commission wish to make any remarks? Commissioner Bernie?
First, I'd like to start off with this commission seat that I have been sitting on. I have not seen so much corruption in my life that they have gotten away with. This is done. I have never seen so much. So I'm going to start with this. It's censor for Commissioner Clements. There's a violation of conflict of interest. There are laws and there are rules for us commissioners in its statutes for conduct that we are supposed to follow. There are things that we're not supposed to do. There are things that we are not supposed to let each other do and not open our mouths and say and tell, because the people are first, not our friendship. You're first. Mr. Clements, from the newspaper, he states, having stumbled on the National Professional Fishing League hosting tournament in Bangor Township, Clements in 2022 began bringing similar events to Bay City. Right there, that is conflict of interest. Us commissioners are not to solicit anyone, anything like that. We are commissioners. We are not to be impartial or to solicit. Commissioner Clements signed a contract for $20,000 with this fishing tournament company for a hosting fee. We are not, as commissioners, supposed to do that. We're not supposed to participate in that. That's conflict of interest. I'm not looking sideways. All this sneaky stuff has to stop. If you're doing it amongst each other, then you're doing it to the people. This is from the newspaper. This is not from my mouth. You can read it. Another date. The date still was not paid, Mr. Clements said in the newspaper. Meanwhile, the MPFL, if he was not accepting money or if he was not dealing with money, as we are not supposed to as commissioners, he informed the other employee, that if he didn't pay some money, Mr. Clements said, I'm going to go to the public. Now, being commissioners, we are to come to each other. We are the city. We are to let the people know, or law enforcement know, what's going on with this money situation. It sounds to me when you say, if you don't do this for this money or give me this money, then I'm going to tell. No, you come to the commission. We voted in. We talk about if we're going to pass this resolution that we're going to give this company or we're going to do business with this company. You do not go and sign a contract for $20,000 without the commission going along with you. Wrong thing to do. You're not the commission. We are the commission. That is against the law. So with that being said, these are admissions of your own words to MLive. These are your own admissions. These are your own words that you said. So with that being said, in the rules, I'm going to read them to you. Censure of the commission, Commissioner Clements, in violation of Section 208.18 U.S.C. said Section 216, conflict of interest. Whereas Commissioner Clements of Bay City 8th Ward, admitted to solicit the NPLF to come to Bay City and bring their tournament. Commissioner Clements stated to the MLive News interview, he also reached out to another source for advice in funding and revenue in a venue to have this festivity. Also, under an undisclosed amount of money was involved.
Commissioner Byrne, I
Whereas,
apologize. So if you read this now, you'll have to read it again when we get to that part of the meeting. Did you want to wait until then to address this?
No, I decided I need to,
Read it now?
I need to read it now because it'll take them where all of this is going.
Okay.
So we'll finish up here.
All right.
I'll finish up soon. Whereas Commissioner Clements, in the month of July 2023, also signed a contract with NPFL in the amount of $20,000 host fee. He was later named in a lawsuit for money supposedly owed to the NPFL from the news that he stated his own admission. Whereas in the month of September, Commissioner Clements reached out to another city employee at that time, was also involved. MLive's interview with Commissioner Clements stated he told the other person named in the lawsuit, if you don't give some money up for losses owing to the tournament festivities, I will go public. Be it resolved, State of Michigan legislation, local government standards of conduct, conflict of interest violations. 1, persons other than routine consumers' transactions. 2, any person for whom you have served within the last year, trustee, director, partner consultant, contractor, in organization you are an active participant, soliciting for financial gain or using your public standing to influence and be impartial. Be it further resolved, Commissioner Clements, in his own admission, violated the conflict of interest rules and regulations set forth for the local governments in the state of Michigan. 18 U.S.C. said Section 208 with implementing regulations at 5C.F.9 said 265.402. I am calling for censure for Mr. Commissioner Clements.
You all set, Commissioner Berney? Anything else from anyone else? Okay, we will come back to this at the correct time in the meeting. I have something, question. Yesterday there's a power outage. I know that they happen. I understand it was really unfortunate that it was on Easter Sunday, and I know a lot of people were with their families. I apologize for that. One thing that I reached out to the manager about, and I didn't actually realize this, is you can get the power outage notifications from Bay Alerts. I wasn't aware of that, so that's a really awesome thing because yesterday we were all on Facebook going around in circles again like we were in January, and that's not the best way of getting information out to people, so I would encourage people to go to Bay Alerts and get those. I would ask that we upgrade our ability a little bit to be able to provide some additional details to people because there was kind of that question of, well, when is it going to be back? Is it going to be an hour? Is it going to be 8 hours? Is it going to be 2 days? And I realize that's a tough call to make, I understand, but you know, both consumers and Spectrum were able to give times yesterday, and I realize we're much smaller. Just something so that people are not literally and metaphorically left in the dark. Thank you. Next order of business is the manager's report. Does the manager wish to make any remarks?
I do. I have one item. We are having a residential clean out event. We are titling it Dump Your Junk. So it is coming out to the public. It went to the printer today. It's on Saturday, May 11th from 9 to 2 p.m. We're going to have 2 locations where people can dump items at no cost. We're going to have it at 2900 North Water and 612 East Fisher. And all you need to have is your photo ID and proof that you are a Bay City resident. And the trucks will be there with some volunteers so we can help do some spring cleanup in the city.
Thank you very much. Next order of business calls for public input. Under the rules of the City Commission, each speaker will be allowed 5 minutes to speak. Commissioner Clements will serve as timekeeper. This is the opportunity for citizens to address the commission regarding any agenda item or any other matter. If anyone wishes to address the commission, please come forward, sign the registration sheet, and state your name and address for the record. Sir, I'm sorry, could you turn the microphone on? There's a button. Make sure the light is on. Thank you.
Name's James Priest. Been trying to find out what an ordinance would require to keep snow machines and ATVs off city streets. I called Mayor Newsham about a week and a half ago. She never got back to me. I called my 5th Ward Commissioner last week on Tuesday. She didn't get back to me. I went to code enforcement. They have no clue. I went to city attorney or city clerk. They don't have no clue. I went to the police department. They don't have a clue. So who does ordinances for Bay City? Anybody got an answer?
Unfortunately,
I'm
this
supposed to
is...
call the governor and ask her to send somebody down to run the place. Oh, I forgot, I stopped at Dana Mascot's office too. Thursday, about 2 o'clock. No secretary. I guess she wasn't in either. So there's a lot of people that aren't there or don't know anything. So what is a person supposed to do? Take the law into their own hands and take care of the problem? I guess I'm asking you, since you're running the thing.
Unfortunately, this conversation is only one way. If you would be so kind as to stick around until after the meeting, we can talk at that point about it.
Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you.
Been trying to talk to somebody for a few weeks, but nobody wants to talk. Am I going to talk to you? Or who are you anyway?
I'm Commissioner Dockett, but this is a one-way, Commissioner Dockett, but this is a one-way communication right now, sir. We can talk after the meeting, though. Thank you.
Alrighty. I'll wait.
Thank you. Could I also have you state your address for the record, sir? I think I missed it earlier.
1403 South Monroe.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. This is Melinda Schreiner. I'm representing Bay City Bridge Partners tonight, 300 Center Avenue, Suite 101. Terry Velligan is not able to be at tonight's meeting, so he asked me to send a couple of updates for you. I think earlier today he reached out to each one of you individually to let you know that this week people will begin seeing the pay-by-mail invoices in their mailboxes. In our experience, usually the first release of pay-by-mail invoices results in lots of questions. So please encourage your constituents to reach out. We're here to help. If a customer service rep cannot resolve an issue for someone, there is an official dispute process that will be explained to customers, okay? Generally speaking, pay-by-mail invoices shouldn't apply to most City of Bay City residents. There may be 3 reasons that someone might receive one. Either they drove across the Liberty Bridge without a transponder or without a properly installed transponder. Perhaps they drove or hauled a vehicle that put them into Class 2, or they received an invoice in error, and if so, that will be fixed, okay? There's an offer for City of Bay City residents who do receive a pay-by-mail invoice. If they create a BC Pass account, by the due date noted on the invoice, that invoice will be waived. The offer is good on the first, valid for transactions on the first invoice, and they need to visit the customer service center to redeem that. So we just want to make sure that residents are aware that to get the free tolling on Liberty Bridge for a Class 1 vehicle till 2028, and on Independence until 2030, they need to have a BC Pass account and a transponder. There's also an offer for non-residents who receive a pay-by-mail invoice. If they create a Bay City Pass account, we will adjust the pay-by-mail invoice transactions to the lower BC Pass rate based on the vehicle class. Again, this is only valid for transactions on the first invoice, and payment of the adjusted balance is required. And that too, please visit the service center to redeem that. If anyone receives a pay-by-mail invoice and doesn't believe that they have crossed the bridge, they really need to reach out for help, okay? And the CSRs will help. Also, the new back office system that is now processing those pay-by-mail invoices sent out some automated email notifications to customers last week. Thank you for that note. And we ask simply that customers check their account to see if any action really is required. It was labeled action required, and that's not necessarily true. So log into your account and check it out. And if it's not applying to you, you can disregard the message. So you guys have Terry's cell phone number. If you need him, please reach out with any questions. And then just make sure that the folks that you represent have the 855 number. That is 855-648-4330. And the address is 300 Center Avenue, Suite 101. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
This must be the complaint department tonight. You know what I'm going to ask about the west of Henry Street, Wilder Road sign that I can't find, saying the bridge is closed ahead. I mean, you know, it's only going to be down for a couple of weeks, but a couple of weeks more than what it's been the last couple of weeks. That's just about all I can say on that. You guys have to address it. The other thing I'm going to address is I don't know if it's tied in to freedom of speech or whatever, but I don't really appreciate going down a city street and seeing fire truck Biden or fire truck Trump. I mean, I'm using that fire truck for abbreviation for another word, but I don't come to city commission meeting and say fire truck. I don't go to courts and say fire truck. You ride down the street and you got to look at a flag on somebody back of their truck, you know. If you want to have a conversation, you come on that with me. I can give you the best one you ever had. But I personally don't think it's right because there is younger children in the car going down people's street, walking down the road, and they can read. When they get to kindergarten, they can read. And, you know, I don't know if it's tied in with freedom of speech, but I always, when I was brought up, was abusive language in public. I don't think it's right myself. They got it I went down Hampton Street here in Bay City between Johnson and McKinley, and there's a big old sign on the front of the guy's house, stretched right out wide for it. It don't hide in the flag, you know, in the waving of the flag, but. And I see the neighbors got one across the street. I couldn't read his because his was waving in the flag, not spread out for everybody could read it. I don't know what his said, but if you happen to go for a little ride, you could see it. And like I say, you know, I hate to keep coming here and complaining about stuff, but I don't think there's any of you that really like it. You know, it's just, I think it's very uncouth, if you ask me. Sorry to bother you, but maybe we can do something about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Spencer, could you state your name and address for the record, please? Thank you.
I know most of you know me, but maybe the audience don't. Richard Spencer, 1427 Park Avenue, Bay City, Michigan.
Thank you.
Alex DeWitt, 1309 South Erie. This one's just going to be I didn't pull the thing at the agenda because it wasn't that kind of detrimental to my comment. The purchase for the power, which was Resolution 7, I noticed that there was a big drop in the number of megawatt hours purchased, and the price went up per year 1%, 3.8%, then 1.9% into the final year of the purchase contract. My estimation, because the items in the packet didn't tie it, was to the previous purchase agreement with the new power generation system with the public power groups. It was passed, I think, at the last meeting, and that missing connection there is something that I would have liked to see in the packet, just to confirm that, yes, we're purchasing less power from this group because of this other group there. The things in the packet didn't list that. If so, that's great, because that was a higher renewable mix, and I'm okay with that. So, thank you.
Oops, I'm sorry, thank you.
Andrew Thibodeau, 610 16th Street. Just wanted to mention that I don't particularly know the legal standard or the law. What I want to make clear when this whole thing was set up here, that there was no Bay City Bridge Partners Corporation that was getting up here on citizens' time, giving you a rundown every meeting about what's going on at their corporation and how it's going to affect the city, you guys, or whatever. This is not the place to do that. Now, I don't know, like I said, the legal standard, if a corporation is considered a public citizen, don't know how that works, or if any of that can be changed in particular. And if it can be changed, we need to do that immediately. And that calls for a resolution or what have you to stop that. Because it's unfair to the people of the city. They don't like the setup already, and they're not going to like the setup going on here at City Hall with having them take up the time here that's supposed to go to public comment. It wears us down, it's boring, and we don't want to hear from them. Let Bay City Bridge Partners spend their time and money, their offices in that cool little suite they got down there, their time and money to set up time, and they're spending their money to talk to the public. Don't bring it here at City Hall. Thank you. That's all I got to say. Happy Easter. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any others?
Yeah, my name is Rudy Howard, 1610 6th Street. I would like to agree with my neighbor on the call for a little bit more civility in the discourse in our politics. The Supreme Court's been pretty clear that incendiary language that can incite riot, is not protected, that profanity is defined as something we can clearly all understand and see. So I would encourage the city to take a hard look and decide, what do we want, what do we not want within our communities? F the president or F his opponent, clearly spelled out, is not what we want. We're better than that. Regardless of Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, Independent, who knows? Bringing us together in a polite discourse is what builds democracy. F the other guy does not. So please, I encourage you not just to simply say it's a First Amendment issue, there's nothing we can do. Speak to the city attorney. Actually take some time and look at it and see if we can't agree in a bipartisan way to make Bay City a little bit more communal. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any others? Seeing none, we will move on. Let's see. I think that might be it. Oh, Commissioner Bernie's resolution. No special orders, no unfinished business. Will the clerk please read the next item on the agenda? Actually, you can't.
No, I can't. It's just Commissioner Bernie's resolution that she brought forward and read earlier.
Do we need Commissioner Bernie to read it again, or? Okay.
So maybe if I do, they'll remember it, because sometimes they don't remember, you know.
It only needs to be read once for the record.
Okay, well, I'm going to say what it's for, if you don't mind. And after that, I'm running for mayor, and I'd like to give you my petitions, because last time they got lost with you. So I want to make sure that you
Commissioner
get them.
Bernie, this is,
Nothing got lost, but you can go ahead and file them during business hours.
thank you.
I'd rather, excuse me, can I file?
Point of order.
Can I file them
Point of
now
order.
This
with
is my
her?
meeting right now. Thank you. Thank you. We have to first get a motion, then you can share your thoughts on it, and we can go from there. So is there a motion on Commissioner Bernie's agenda? Or, sorry, resolution, not agenda, resolution. Commissioner Bernie. You have to make a motion. You have to say, move to approve.
Move to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second? Commissioner Morris.
Second.
Thank you. Is there discussion?
Yes, the reason why I want to have this censored, we cannot look above violations. If we are wrong, we need to call each other on it. There is no reason to uphold one another when we have done something wrong. When someone else has done it and you guys get together and you don't like them, then you gang up and say, well, we're going to pick on this one person. It's not about a person. It's not about picking on someone. It's about truth. The people need to know that now. Right now, times are hard. And right now, Bay City, I went door to door and knocked on doors because I want to be a mayor. And I want the people to know I'm standing behind them, I'm fighting. And what I hear is not good. Standing at the grocery store, they have no faith in you. None. At all. We got to stand together. And if one of us is wrong, we need to speak up. We need to say it. Stand together. I don't care about election year. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not I'm not any of that. I'm for the people. That's it. Cut and dry. We got to be honest for the people. They need us. And right now, they don't want us. So just be honest with yourself. This reads, he admitted it. He admitted everything I put here was not a lie. That was a newspaper article, copied right out of the newspaper. You can't deny it. I didn't write it. The news did. So if you want to not censor him on a lie, well, then that shows the public exactly what they were thinking, that we're liars, that we're not telling them the truth, that we are taking their money, that we're not thinking about what they need. We're thinking about what we feel about one another, not about them. That's all I have.
Thank you. Are there any others? Okay, I have a couple questions, if you'd be so kind, Commissioner Bernie. Can you demonstrate Commissioner Clements gaining personally, financially, because of this? Personal gain, not gain for an organization that he's affiliated with and doesn't make money from. Personal financial gain.
In the rules, it says numerous things. So it doesn't just point out financial gains, it's numerous violations in a rule. Just like it says your mother, or you've done something for your sister, or I put the rules for you, a summary. So there's quite a few things.
Sure.
So he falls under the umbrella of quite a few things. You know, we cannot be impartial to any of, companies or, it tells you right here, he cannot be a participant to any of those, the NPA, any of the businesses. He solicited them to come to Bay City. He signed a contract. He didn't ask us, the city of Bay City. He signed that contract for $20,000 host fees. He had no business doing that. There's a number of violations here. It's not just one, it's several under that umbrella. We cannot just say he did one thing, it was several. I could have said I wanted him to be suspended, or he needed to lose his seat, or he needed, because under the rules, I gave you a full copy, everyone, to make sure that I had everything covered
Commissioner
right here,
Commissioner Bernie.
that he could have gotten charged or, just something horrible.
So
Censor is
summarize.
just saying that we didn't want him, we didn't like it.
Okay, so following that up, that sounds like a no. We can't demonstrate personal financial gain. Because the resolution includes personal financial gain as part of the resolution, that part makes this not true. And if we continue down the path, routine consumer transaction. So I'm affiliated with other organizations in the community, and I think some of the other commissioners are affiliated with other organizations in the community, and we work to bring good things to the community. That's what we do. That's part of being a good steward of the community. So can we demonstrate that this was on behalf of the city, or are we saying that this was on behalf of, like, the city as an organization or the city as a whole, and it was working with a good organization to do something good for the community? Because last time I checked, bringing events to the community was not a crime. Now, if it was city dollars that were committed, that's a different story, but I don't remember seeing that in here. Can we demonstrate that it was city commitment, not commitment from the organization?
Okay. Through the state of Michigan, Bureau of Justice Assistance, U.S. Department of Government. Conflict of interest rules for us, government employees, state workers. The federal conflict of interest rules are found at, you need to pull up your law book, 18U.SC, subsection 208, with implementing regulations at 5C.FR, subsection. Essentially, these rules prohibit you from taking official action in a particular manner involving any entity in which you or someone whose interests are imputed to you. Have financial interests. Imputed interests include the interest of your spouse, minor children, a general partner, an organization which you are serving as an officer, director, trustee, general partner, or employee, any person or organization with whom you are negotiating or have any arrangement concerning prospective employment. Now, as it said, having stumbled on the NPFL hosting tournament in Bangor Township, Clements in June 2022 began working to a similar event to Bay City. I brought in Mr. Mike Bacigalupo discussions as he had the reputation as Mr. Downtown. And he solicited them to come to Bay City. In his own words. Awesome.
Commissioner Bernie, so what you're describing is illegal, but you're not describing what Commissioner Clements did. So you're describing the law, but you're not describing this. And it's fine. I can drop that issue and we can move on to the next one. So the second clause in here, any person whom you have served within the last year, trustee, director, partner, consultant, contractor, or organization, you are an active participant. We all fall under that criteria because we all serve on this board. So we're all conflict of interest just for being here? I don't understand this. So,
well, I didn't want to say Mike Bacigalupo that stole the money, $800,000. He was involved with Mr. Clements on this deal. Mr. Bacigalupo was in Italy at the time of signing the contract deal. And he told Mr. Clements over the phone to go ahead and sign that contract. And Mr. Clements went ahead and said, I believe you, I'll go ahead and sign the contract. Mr. Clements went and signed that contract. When it all boiled down, it was the NPFL and the ML, the other tournament people. The lawsuit came out, and the city of Bay City wrote back Bay City and said that they didn't have anything to do with the
I'm gonna recall my
MFL,
time.
but they did
You
have
the
something
floor,
to
Commissioner
do
Bernie.
with.
Commissioner Bernie, I have the floor still. Thank you. I'll give it to you in a second. Commissioner Clements, I'm actually done. I'm a hard no on this because all 3 of the violations are false. So, thank you. Commissioner Clements.
Yeah, I'm not going to waste any more time talking about this. We can just vote. I'm good.
Thank you. Commissioner Brunner.
Call the question.
Thank you. Will the clerk please call the roll?
So the motion is to approve. A yes means that you approve the resolution, a no means you do not. Commissioner Brunner?
No.
Hilliker?
No.
Izetsky?
Absolutely no.
Clements?
No.
Morris?
No.
Docket?
No.
Bernie?
Yes.
1 yes, 6 no.
Madam Clerk, are there any other items for tonight's agenda? Since there are none, we will adjourn. Thank you.